Noise complaints, pool closures, bed bugs. Disney World's got a bunch of things they don't want you to do at their hotels, and quite honestly, we don't want you to do these things either. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So there are a lot of things you can do in Disney World hotels. You can dine there, you can sleep there, you can order groceries there. You can cry when it's time to pack up your bags and leave there. But despite all the freedom you have, there are also things you should never do at these hotels, whether it be out of respect for your own safety or even because you might miss out on something awesome, and we can't have you doing that. There are a lot of different Disney-owned hotels that you can choose to book, ranging from value to moderate to deluxe hotel stays. But if you want to learn more about the different resort tiers and their price ranges, and get a digital copy of our official Disney hotel ranking list to find out which resorts we consider to be the best of the best, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or head over to disneyfoodblog.com/hotels after this video to pick up your free Disney World hotel guide. But first things first, here's what you should never do in Disney World hotels. For some Disney World hotels, you can easily go from one to the next, like any of the resorts featured on the Skyliner route or the deluxe ones wrapped around the monorail loop. Sometimes you can even walk between hotels, but not every Disney World resort is as easy to hop between. Disney World's free bus service does not transport guests directly between hotels. So if that's what you're relying on to get you from place to place, like maybe you have a dining reservation at a hotel that you're not staying in, you're going to want to figure out the best way to get there and how long it might actually take. For example, let's say I'm staying at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, but I want to book a meal at Topolino's Terrace at Disney's Riviera Resort. If I have my own car, this shouldn't be a problem. I'll drive up to the front gate of the Riviera, show the cast members my dining reservation, and I'll be let in. However, if I'm relying on the Disney buses, which is the only free transportation I can rely on when staying at Coronado Springs, then I can't just hop on a bus and go to Riviera. Instead, I'm going to have to first travel to one of the parks or Disney Springs and then transfer over to a Riviera bus from there. There's no direct bus between Coronado Springs and Riviera Resort. When all is said and done, all the time you spend waiting for your buses and transferring buses can be a solid 60-plus minute endeavor just to get to dinner. And if you're all dressed up because you're going to fancy Topolino's Terrace for dinner, that's weird. So you're going to want to either factor in extra travel time into your day, or you're going to want to save back some extra money for a few ride shares that'll help you cut out all the extra bus waits and transfer time. Ubers and Lyfts may not be a free service, but time is money in the Disney bubble. So if you can save time and avoid all the extra bus hassle just by spending $20 on a rideshare, then booking a restaurant at another resort won't be as big of a problem. I mean, let's be honest, would you rather ride 2 extra rides at Magic Kingdom before you have to get back to your hotel and get ready for dinner, or would you rather wait for a bus for an hour? So don't skip out on those extra park perks. If you're going to spend the extra money to stay on Disney property, then you might as well get all the added benefits you can. There are some major park benefits that you get to access when you stay on Disney World property. Early theme park entry gives all guests staying at any Disney World hotel, plus a few of the Good Neighbor hotels as well, the chance to spend an extra 30 minutes in the parks before their official opening times. Meanwhile, Disney Deluxe Resort guests can take advantage of extended evening hours, which allow you to stay late at certain parks on certain days. This also goes for guests who are staying at one of the Marriott hotels on site, the Swan and Dolphin or the Swan Reserve. While you may not want to force your group to get up extra early on every day of your trip, I get it, those 30 minutes of time do come in handy when you're trying to get in line for a popular ride before everybody else. And if you got the extended evening hours handy, then you're going to want to make sure you know which parks are going to stay open during what days of your trip, so you can actually take advantage of this exclusive benefit to its fullest. You can find out which parks have extended evening hours happening throughout the month and what days they're being offered over on the Disney World Hours and Events calendar online. So don't throw away those resort benefits if you've got them to use. You're paying for them, my friends, because this extra time in the parks can make the difference between waiting in line for a ride for only 20 minutes versus 75 minutes or more. Pretty sure you're not going to be throwing a kegger at your resort or anything, but this is just a general reminder that Disney's hotel rooms have super thin walls. And that's not just true of the value resorts, but for all of the resorts, even the fancy schmancy Grand Floridian rooms. If you're staying above me, I can hear every time you flush. Now, I know that noise can't always be helped, especially if your kids are out of their gourds excited to finally arrive on property, or your kiddo's getting fussy right before bedtime. But in general, try not to do things like blaring loud music or sprinting down the hallways. I know you guys do that all the time. Slamming doors or seeing which member of your family can slap the walls of your room the loudest. Typical family bonding experiences like that. You'll want to be especially conscious of extra noise super early in the morning or late at night. Remember, other people are on different schedules than you might be, so not everyone's going to be waking up at the crack of dawn to make it in time for early theme park entry or staying up over at Jelly Rolls until 2 a.m. And on a flip opposite note, you've also got to be prepared for those hotel neighbors of yours, just in case they aren't as kind and courteous as you are. Bring noise blockers from home like earplugs and white noise machines, and don't hesitate to let the front desk know if your hotel neighbor is legitimately throwing a party, because cast members will put a stop to that ASAP so you and everyone else on your floor can get a good night's sleep. Believe me, there's nothing worse than a snorer right on the other side of the wall when you've got to be up really early. Let's face it, going to the Disney World parks is not exactly what you'd call a relaxing vacation, at least not all the time. There's the chaotic rope drop in the morning and all the ride lines that are just hot as Hades, and the million miles of walking each day until you just can't do it anymore and you drag your poor, worn out body up to bed and pass out cold as soon as your head hits the pillow. I know, I'm making it sound really fun, right? So if you're looking for just a sliver of your Disney vacation that doesn't make you feel like you run a marathon every day, then you might want to schedule in some pool time at your Disney World hotel. We love a rest day built into our itinerary. That way you can choose to take a swim, or you can just pull up a lounge chair, sip on a fruity cocktail, and bask the afternoon away. Maybe do your laundry, because that's what I do when I'm at the pool. Anyway, before you do that, you've got to do something important. You've got to check and make sure the hotel pool you want to lounge at is actually going to be open during your visit. While Orlando stays pretty nice and toasty on average, and even when it does experience cold snaps, the Disney pools are kept heated at a solid 82 degrees year-round. The resorts will sometimes have extended closures for their pools toward the beginning of the year for maintenance purposes, which is good. We don't want the Disney pools getting all gross. It's just a bummer when you book a hotel stay expecting a nice pool to come along with it, only to find out once you arrive that the pool you were so looking forward to isn't going to be available during your vacation. So be sure to check the Disney World website, because on each resort's main page, all those pool closures are going to be noted in big orange text. But of course, we've done the research for you, at least for the upcoming few months. And per the release of this video, there are currently 2 pool closures you need to know about. The Fuentes del Morro pool at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is the main pool of that resort. It's super cool. It's themed to look like a colonial Spanish fortress. There are cannons and everything. And while Caribbean Beach has other leisure pools on site you can check out, this main feature pool is the only one with 2 water slides and those water spray cannons and a shipwreck play area. It's very cool. I already said that, but it is very cool. Unfortunately, Fuentes del Morro is currently closed and is going to remain closed through late March of this year. So we've got a few more weeks to go before it's back up and running again. Meanwhile, Port Orleans French Quarter is in a similar situation. Doubloon Lagoon at French Quarter has a 51-foot long sea serpent water slide, a whirlpool spa, and Mardi Gras decorations, but this pool closed in January and will stay closed through April 2024. If you're staying at French Quarter and you want to take a swim, you can go over to Old Man Island at Port Orleans Riverside, which you can easily walk to from French Quarter. But I'm not going to lie, it's not like next. It's not like a 2-minute walk, right? You're going to be walking for probably 10 minutes to get over there. And if it's chilly outside and you're wet from the pool and you got to walk back to your room, it can be annoying. Not going to lie about that. So I personally probably wouldn't choose to stay at Port Orleans French Quarter if I wanted to use the pool here until after the pool's back open. And although this is still a little ways away, I am going to talk about this nonstop for the next year because I don't want anyone to be disappointed. Stormalong Bay over at Disney's Yacht and Beach Club will be closing for renovations between January 2025 and May 2025. Now, this is a huge deal, because Stormalong is the best pool in Disney World since it feels like a mini water park. It's got a lazy river, 230-foot-long water slide, 3 acres of water attractions, and a sand bottom pool. So if you miss out on this one during your future yacht and beach club stay, then you might have some really disappointed kids and adults. Personally, I love floating in that lazy river. I literally just put my headphones in and I listen to podcasts while I float around on the lazy river. I don't get to do it very much, but I always kind of book one evening because I like to do that in the evening because everybody's leaving the pool to go to dinner. And so right around 6 p.m. when the sun is just starting to sort of set, but it's still warm out, I go and I do that. You don't care, but that's what I love about this particular hotel pool. Anyway, quick note too that you should also check for other construction and closures at your hotel, not just pools. Are rooms being renovated? Is construction going to ruin your perfect theme park view that you just paid hundreds of dollars extra to get? Are restaurants closed while you're there? All good stuff to know when you're making your choices about hotels. If you're planning on using a refillable mug during your Disney World vacation, either because you're going to receive a complimentary one with your Disney dining plan package, or you're going to purchase one out of pocket for about $22, then you're going to need to know the best ways to get your money's worth out of them. And believe me, there are a lot of rules that nobody knows about with these mugs. So Disney's refillable mugs will give you unlimited free refills on fountain drinks and coffee and tea, but they can only be used at participating beverage locations inside the Disney hotels during the length of your stay. It's about 14 days that you get to use this. That often means you're going to want to make sure you refill these mugs at your resort as often as possible to really stretch your dollar. Refill your mugs in the mornings before you head over to the park so you can start your day with something to drink, and consider grabbing a late night refill once you get back to your hotel too. Basically, any chance you get, fill her up. And don't forget, your refillable mug doesn't have to just be used at the resort you're staying in. You can use these mugs at any of the Disney hotels that are participating in the refillable mug program. So let's say you'll be staying at Disney's Pop Century Resort during your trip. So you buy your mug at the Everything Pop food court, but then you decide to walk over to Art of Animation Resort and eat at Landscape of Flavors for dinner. Even while you're visiting Art of Animation, you can refill your mugs here too. So hop around resort to resort and bring that refillable mug with you so you can keep refilling as you go about your day. Now, here's a warning and benefit. Many of the drink stations around the Disney World hotels, especially the value resorts, will close when the restaurants do, meaning you won't be able to refill your mug until the next morning. That being said, we have done some serious research for you around the parks, and there are a few refill stations that remain open 24/7. Yes, that's right, 24/7. I know, we think it's important too. So over at Pop Century Resort, the refill station out at Petal's Pool Bar is open 24/7, even when the pool bar is closed. This is also the case at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, where the drink station at Banana Cabana Pool Bar is also open 24/7, at least according to the CMs. Now, the refill station at Drop Off Pool Bar at Disney's Art of Animation Resort is also always open for an early morning, late night thirst quencher, and we'll continue to investigate around the other hotels to see if this is the same case in other locations. But know for now that you can at least head to these 3 refill spots even late into the night or very early in the morning. So FYI, the Disney hotels have a very serious non-smoking policy, as in you can't smoke in your room at all, not even on the balcony, at all, ever. Smoking in your room or on the balcony will earn you a $250 to $500 room recovery fee from Disney, which isn't a bill you want to see tacked onto your vacation after you've already spent so much to be there. That being said, if you do need to smoke a cigarette, cigar, pipe tobacco, or vape, there are designated smoking areas around the hotels, which you can find on the My Disney Experience app, or you can ask the front desk. Just remember that while cannabis laws vary from state to state, it is still illegal in Florida, meaning you are not allowed to smoke cannabis, period, on Disney World property. Ah, yes, the bed bug point. So Disney does a pretty top-notch job of keeping their rooms clean, but bed bugs unfortunately can strike at any hotel, even the fanciest ones. If you've heard of bed bug horrors before, but you're not really familiar with what a bed bug actually is, basically they're these little insects that hitch rides on other infested furniture, like luggage, backpacks, or any items that have been placed on an infested plush surface. and they bite, causing red and itchy spots on your skin that are annoying and also gross. They're really nice though because they actually have a compound in their saliva that makes your skin not feel the bite, so that's nice, but they get real itchy. Anyway, a family could unknowingly bring along some bedbug hitchhikers from a different infested hotel and have no idea they did so until they start to feel a little scratchy. I know, this point freaks me out too, so I'll wrap it up real quick. The best way to check for bedbugs in your room is to turn off all the lights and use your phone flashlight to check the creases of the mattress. Since they're so tiny, this is the easiest way to spot them much faster. More than likely, your mattress should be clear and good to go, but on the off chance that it's not and you accidentally did pick up some bedbugs during your travels, make sure to report that back to the front desk ASAP so housekeeping can address the situation and you can be moved into a new room. And if you happen to find any stragglers in your suitcase, spray everything down with a travel bed bug spray, which you can purchase off Amazon for like $15, and put all your dirty clothes in a trash bag until you get the chance to run them in the washer on the hot water cycle. This should kill off any remaining pests who've overstayed their welcome. Now, I will say I am particularly weird and freaked out about bed bugs because I stay in a lot of hotels and all that stuff in the news about Paris and things like that. And so something else that I personally do is I always make sure that my suitcase is raised up off the ground because bed bugs can't fly and they also can't really jump. So I raise up my suitcase off the ground on one of those kind of suitcase holder things. And I also make sure my suitcase is completely shut and zipped at night. I know I'm overthinking, but that's just something that I personally do when I'm traveling and I'm in a hotel. Anywhere, not just Disney. So plans change, even during a well-scheduled Disney World vacation. But if your plans change and you fail to tell your hotel about it, then how are y'all supposed to stay on the same page here? Disney wants to help you make your vacation as flexible as possible, but they can't do that if they don't know what you're doing. So if you decide to, for example, stay an extra 1 or 2 nights at the resort you've booked, but you don't let them know about that until the last minute, the room you're currently staying in might already be reserved for another group, forcing you to pack up quickly and relocate somewhere else. Maybe even off Disney property if you have to. Or if you decide you want to stay someplace else entirely during your trip and you cut your current resort stay short, you might still be forced to pay the entire amount of the stay you've already booked, regardless of whether you're still using the room there or not. So before your trip, set a reminder for yourself to double check on your hotel plans, preferably before any of those hotel cancellation date deadlines, just in case you want to completely change where you're staying, but you don't want to be charged a cancellation fee. If you need to modify the dates of your stay, you can do that through the Disney website or the My Disney Experience app. Also, don't forget to keep an eye on our DFB newsletters for the latest Disney hotel discounts. So what does this have to do with hotel changes? Well, don't worry, this isn't as random as it may seem. Even if a hotel discount is released after you've already booked your room, you can still apply those deals to your pre-existing reservation as long as the deal isn't sold out, which is yet another reason why you may want to make changes to your current hotel plans to save money. Most of the time, you'll still be able to get those discounts applied via the My Disney Experience app or through the Disney website. But if for some reason you're struggling to get those discounts applied, go ahead and call up your Disney resort, see if they can help you figure things out. Warning though, you will be put on hold. Disney phone lines are notoriously busy, so you may have to listen to some scratchy Disney music on the other line for a while before a cast member can finally help you out. Disney's standard hotel rooms aren't very big. You'll have either 2 queen beds or a king bed, 1 bathroom, a little sink area, and that's pretty much it. So if you're planning on sharing a room with 4 adults, or you've got teenagers in your group who don't want to share a bed with a younger sibling, or you've got more people in your party than a standard room is going to fit, or your family of 4 simply needs more room to spread out so y'all aren't strangling each other by the end of the trip, then booking a single standard room may not be the route you want to take, even if it is Disney's cheapest hotel option. If you're looking for more space inside your Disney hotel room without paying thousands of dollars to get that per night, here are a few options that you might want to check out. First up, the family suites at All-Star Music. All-Star Music has the most budget-friendly family suite options of all the Disney-owned resorts. These suites can accommodate up to 6 adults and include 1 queen bed and 2 queen-size Murphy beds. In addition to 2 bathrooms, the All-Star Music family suites also have a kitchenette, meaning you can prep something to eat from your room if you pick up groceries ahead of time and keep you from having to drop a whole lot of money on a restaurant each night. Now, note, the kitchenette actually has an apartment-sized fridge, so you also can store leftovers from Disney meals too. And these suites usually range around $300 to $600 per night, which is a great deal considering. Also, keep in mind that you can instead book standard rooms at any value resort and request connecting rooms for a potentially cheaper price than what you'd pay for one All-Star Music family suite. This will still keep your whole group together without having to be sardined together while still paying less money all around. The main downfall with this plan is that Disney can't always guarantee a connecting room, making this option a little more of a gamble. Next option for more room for your brood is family suites at Art of Animation Resort. While Art of Animation is technically still a value resort, the family suites here can get pretty pricey, but they're still less pricey than the other deluxe suites found at the other resorts. The Cars and Finding Nemo and Lion King buildings at this resort each have suites that can accommodate up to 6 adults, with rooms including 1 queen bed, 1 double-size Murphy bed, and 1 double-size sleeper sofa, as well as 2 bathrooms and a kitchenette. This kitchenette, though, tiny fridge. Art of Animation has the benefit of being located on the Disney Skyliner route, but you're going to have to pay a pretty penny for that luxury, since these suites typically range from $500 to $800 or more per night. Next option, the Swan and Dolphin hotels. Swan and Dolphin may not be directly owned by Disney, but they might as well be, considering how much they benefit Disney World guests. The Swan and Dolphin have a range of different room sizes, all with various price points. But the cool thing about the rooms that you'll find over on the Dolphin side is that even their standard rooms can sleep up to 5 guests, and those standard room prices start at about $270 per night. And yet, you might not even have to pay that much per night. If you're a member of the free Marriott Bonvoy program, you'll be able to get deluxe hotel accommodations along with the perks that come with the Marriott Bonvoy membership. That means you'll be able to earn rewards for every Marriott stay, plus you can spend rewards to book future Marriott rooms too. This includes booking stays at the Swan and Dolphin, which could save you some serious money during your next Disney World vacation. Now, there's a reason why guests choose to splurge on Disney-owned resorts time and again. There's just so much to see and do at these hotels, and you don't want to skip out on all the activities that you're paying for. Along with the themed pools, you've got lots of other ways you can relax your day away, like booking a treatment at the Grand Floridian Spa. No, you're not paying for that with your room. You got to pay for that separately. Or kicking back on one of the beaches or the resort hammocks, playing a game of golf, or enjoying a nice cocktail at one of the many lounges. And there are also activities for the whole family, like arts and crafts opportunities, pool games and trivia challenges, free movie nights, also free campfires every night, and the list goes on. And if you're staying at or pay a visit to Disney's Fort Wilderness Cabins and Campground, then you can become one with the great outdoors through all their nature activities like archery and kayaking, horseback riding, Chippendale campfire sing-alongs, and so much more. And don't even get me started on the food you're going to find at each of these places. We've got an entire video that ranks all the different resort restaurants property-wide. It took Bria about 700 days to write, and it took me about 700 days to record, and you're going to want to check that out next to help you narrow down all your options. All of this to say, don't take your Disney resort offerings for granted. That being said, if you plan on spending all of your time in the parks and you aren't really planning a whole lot of extra time just to chill at your hotel, which is totally understandable, especially if you only have so much vacation time to begin with, then you may want to rethink where you invest your hotel money, because part of the reason you're paying that steep price of the Disney resorts is for the experience. And if you're not going to take the time to revel in that experience, then really any old hotel that's still close to the parks might be better and cheaper for you in the end. If you've ever stayed at a Disney hotel before, then you know how special it is when you enter your room for the first time and are greeted by the television displaying your personalized welcome home message and playing some soft yet lovely instrumental Disney tunes in the background. But the Disney hotel TVs are more than just aesthetically pleasing. Many of the channels have information that'll help you out during your trip. The main channel, the one that you'll see upon walking into the room for the first time, lists important reminders like park hours and forecasts and show times and other Disney-specific FYIs. Meanwhile, other channels that you'll find on the listings guide are going to feature useful and fun programs like nightly bedtime stories, park safety videos starring Timon and Pumbaa, DVC information, Disney Springs recommendations, park must-dos, and a pre-recording of the Happily Ever After fireworks show, just in case your kids would rather watch the Magic Kingdom Nighttime Spectacular minus all the loud booms. And the next thing you shouldn't do in Disney World hotels is rely on hotel breakfast. I'm not saying Disney's breakfast options are unreliable, but they may not mesh with your plans as well as you want them to. Plus, you're not getting any free breakfast here. If you're looking to grab breakfast early, and I mean really early, you might be out of luck at your Disney hotel. Most of the Disney Resort's quick service restaurants don't open until 7 a.m., while most of the table service restaurants don't open until 7:30. So why is this a problem? Well, if you want to go to one of the parks in time for rope drop, or you want to get there even earlier to use your early theme park entry benefit, then 7:30 may very well be the time you're starting to head over to the parks, or when early theme park entry actually begins, depending on park hours. The absolute earliest resort breakfast offerings we've come across before will give you a tad more flexibility by opening up at 6:30 instead of 7, including places like Carousel Coffee at Boardwalk Inn and the food courts at the All-Star Resorts. But we haven't found anything earlier than that yet, per the release of this video. If you need a super early morning meal because you've got a real long park day ahead of you, maybe even because you're trekking back to the airport before the sun's awake, though you may not want to think about that just yet, then I suggest you plan ahead for that lack of breakfast options you'll inevitably run into. Grab something the day before, or maybe even something before your trip, period, that you can munch on while you're on the go, like a Pop-Tart or granola bar or packaged cereal. While the Disney gift shop dry goods are pricier than what you'll find in your average grocery stores, we've been known to purchase a whole sleeve of bagels from the Disney Resort gift shop just because we knew we would eat them up throughout the week when we needed to leave the room really early. And don't stress about the morning coffee. Each Disney hotel room has a complimentary coffee maker in it with provided Joffrey's packets and creamers and cups and sugars. Now, these coffee makers are totally free for you to use if you need a little extra jolt of caffeine to help you get the day started. But of course, there are coffee locations outside all of the parks and inside all of the parks too. Oh, and here's a big pro tip for you. If you prefer drinking cold brew in the mornings, you can always order a cold brew minus the ice at one of Disney's coffee shops the day before. Then you can just keep it in your hotel fridge or mini fridge until you're ready to drink it in the morning. And don't forget to double check your locks. All right, it's happened to the best of us. You're on your way out of your hotel room in a jiffy, ready to hit the ground running toward your next park adventure, and you just let the door of your room gradually shut behind you without double checking to see if it actually closed all the way or not. Happens at night too. You come shuffling back to your room, eyes barely open, and you just let the door drift shut as you walk on in. Sometimes those hotel room doors need a little extra hand to get shut and locked tight all the way, so don't trust that your door is heavy enough to always shut and lock itself, because it very well might not be. Which is unsettling to think about when you consider just how many guests pass by your room each night and every day while you're away. For the most part, even if your door does accidentally stay open just a smidge, someone from Disney housekeeping will more than likely see it while making their rounds and close it the rest of the way for you. But it's always important to keep you, your family, and your belongings safe just in case. So double check those locks before you leave and after you arrive back home, and remind others in your group to do the same. That way, if one person forgets, another person in your group will remember. And now that you know what you should never do in a Disney World hotel, you can spend more time thinking about what you should always do, which is have fun. And dare I say, relax a little while you're at it? Maybe, if possible. We'll see. Don't forget, if you want to learn more about each of Disney's hotels, including their price ranges and styles and where we rank them on a scale from 1 to 10, then be sure to pick up your free digital Disney hotel guide over at disneyfoodblog.com/hotels. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.